go for executive clemency if she's sent back, and I don't think she ought to start with the strike against her that she feels that she's being kept in there.
The doctors do not...
I should remove the word political. You have indicated you have been used as a pawn in a chess game.
That is it. Dr. Larson called me over to his office once, and he said, Ms. Judd, he and Dr. Metzger were having, well, they were having difficulties between them. And he said, I just got a call from the Capitol. I'm to stay on as superintendent. And he said, of course, you know what that means. If I stay, Metzger goes. And I know how you feel about Dr. Metzger. And I said, naturally, I'm for Dr. Metzger. And I said, but I've made up my mind, whichever way it goes, that I'll try to make the best of it. And he said, well, good. He said, I want you to remember one thing, that I'm the first superintendent that has stuck his neck out to try to do something for you. I fought with that pardon board for 4 hours to get them to do something for you. If I stay as superintendent, I will never give up until I get something done for you. And I said, well, Dr. Larson, I feel like that this has just been a chess game. And I said, sort of a political chess.
Now, I hope if she goes back that she'll go before a board and have a sentence fixed, because the escape was from a mental institution. As soon as she's declared to be sane, we could have moved for her sanity hearing here, but it would have taken us more time here, and all the time here is dead time that she's not being credited with. As soon as she goes back, if Governor Reagan sends her back, then she's got to be declared sane. Then she has to have her term fixed, and we hope that the governor or whatever the board is will commute it to time served because of her rehabilitation.
Well, one question, or one statement I wanted to interject in this pawn, or remove the word politics, if I might. Most of the individuals who now are in a position of administrative or political power in the state of Arizona were young men, if not boys, when this crime occurred.
Yes.
So are you saying that if it was politically inspired, some of you are staying in the Arizona State Hospital, your alleged mistreatment, that it took place in the 1940s?
I didn't say the
Not mistreatment.
The doctors were all good to me.
1930s and 1940s.
Nearly every doctor there was as kind as could be to me, and most of the nurses were. You have no idea how good the nurses were. My parents were very poor, and the nurses have taken food out to the house, and the nurses bought most of my clothes for me. Most of the doctors and the nurses were wonderful to me.
I think this is the story of a rehabilitated person. If she was insane, certainly she's rehabilitated. If she was guilty of the crime, she's done her time 3 times over. In California and Arizona, 7 to 10 to 12 years would be the most in the first degree, even commuted from death to life. The most that you would do would be 7 to 12 years. She's done 34 years?
38 years.
38 years, over 3 times what anyone else has done. I don't know anyone, at least in the West, who has done more time for murder than Mrs. Judd.
The next we heard was that she was sent to the Arizona asylum to remain until such time as she was sane or able to assist in her defense. And about these 7 escapes, the woman, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, but I've been around, this woman never escaped out there. She was turned loose every time she went away from that asylum. They wanted to get rid of her. And she wasn't getting sane very fast, according to their opinion. And I think every time she went out of there, then she'd go out and try to get money from some of her old friends to leave town on, and she couldn't get the money. Then somebody would see her and turn her in, and then, of course, the hospital would have to go back and get her and put her back in the hospital. And that was carried on there for a number of years, as I say, until everybody knows she supposedly escaped from there 7 times before she got money enough to get out of town on.
There is something or another. Now, when a pardon board tells me they're going to do something likewise for me, like they did for Janovich, then the next time a member of the pardon board comes to see me, which was Hoffman, I told him...
Dr. Hoffman?
Yes. I told him that they said that they are going to deport me, like they did Janovich. And he said, where would they deport you to? You're an American citizen. I said, well, I could go to South America to some friends. And he said, oh, as far as I'm concerned, you can live across the street from me tomorrow. It makes me and my wife so darn mad, the names that they call you. So I don't know. The doctors, Dr. Metzger, chairman of the hospital board, said to me, no doctor who has ever been here or who ever will be here will ever send you to prison. I'd like to see the face of the man that ever tries to send you. Now, that was said to me. Then Governor Jones comes out to see me after I ran away, and he said, do you know that you've got me in more trouble than I've ever been in all my life? I stick up for you, and you run away, and you get me criticized and ridiculed. Now, you've got to cooperate with the doctor. You don't want to stay locked up, do you? And I said, no. And he said, well, you've got to cooperate. Well, my husband came to see me, and he said, now, I want you to write me nice letters. Don't say anything about anybody. Just write nice letters to me, and we're going to fight your case. And
This was how long ago?
Yes, I know, years ago. And then the election took place, and the governor lost the election, and he and his campaign manager came out to see me.
Who was the campaign manager?
Lynn Lockhart. And he said, well, Ruth, you know you did more. You're running away from here to cause the governor to lose the election than any other one person. He said, had he been reelected, something would have been done for you. But as it is, I feel very, very sorry for you. And I thought, oh, dear God, if he feels sorry for me, what I've been going through, what's going to happen to me now?
Now, you escaped from the Arizona State Hospital 7 times.
Yes, but I hadn't escaped then. I waited 7 years before I did.
Okay. But you left the hospital 7 times.
Yes.
This time when you were found in Martinez, California, was the longest exit.
Yes.
Who helped you leave the hospital, the Arizona State Hospital, prior to this last escape? Was the East escape one on your own? Did you just walk away from the hospital, or did you have an accomplice inside or outside the hospital?
Oh, one time there were some nurses that, some of the aides there that took me out and tried to get something done for me in my case, yes, one time.
They physically removed you from the hospital?
One time, yes.
Well, I think it's the first time probably that the people of Arizona have seen her and heard her tell who she is, what she has been done, and that she wants out and that she's a rehabilitated woman. The extradition, you say, will be successful. I hope it won't be. If I were the governor, legally, yes, legally, Governor Regan can refuse extradition here, because this is one of the grounds of refusal, that she's been rehabilitated. But if she does go back, I think that the governor over there, or whomsoever he reposes his equity and executive clemency in, certainly should consider and can consider her record since she's been out. She hasn't been under probation or parole. She hasn't been making official reports. But everybody that she's been with and worked for say that she can come back to them and that she's the most wonderful person that they've had. Now, these are doctors. These are people in management, lawyers. One lawyer phoned me. I have never in 30 years of practice had so many people phone me, write me from all over the West, people that knew her, for whom she's worked, and people who just heard about her saying she's done her time. If jails and asylums aren't hypocrisy, then this woman who has done her time and is penally and psychiatrically rehabilitated, she should be out. And I don't think that she should have to spend much more time before the wheels of justice grind over there and turn her out.
There are still hundreds of unanswered questions that only Mrs. Judd may answer partially, for some of her answers are accusations that so far have been neither confirmed or denied. This film report, while only a crack open of a 38-year-old closed door, could be the opening of a legal Pandora's box if and when Winnie Ruth Judd is extradited from California.